Today, I'm going to be talking to you about file management. So I know that I'm usually talking about journalism topics in these videos, and this seems a little out of left field for me to be talking about, but file management is super important to us, especially when we work with a team on a shared publication or project like a news website or a yearbook. File management is when we make sure that we name our files, like Google Docs and photos and videos, in a certain naming style or convention, and then we organize those files in a way on our computer or our Google Drive so that we can find them easily. Why is this so important? Good question. Here's some reasons. File management is important because you know where everything is when you need it. Important information does not get lost or deleted. It's easier to share information with others, and there's less wasted storage space wherever you are keeping the files because you won't have duplicate files or unnecessary ones. I think it's a little bit easier for us to wrap our heads around the idea of organizing our digital files in folders if we think about them like our physical paper in physical folders. You can keep all of your papers and homework for every class in one single folder, but it might be a little bit difficult to find things, especially when you start accumulating more papers into that folder. And even worse, sometimes things get accidentally thrown away because it's too much to keep track of. So if we start organizing our papers into different folders for different classes and different subjects, it makes it a little bit easier to manage. It's the exact same thing with our digital files and folders. As I mentioned before, there are two parts of file management that we are going to focus on: file naming conventions and file organization. A naming convention, for our purposes, means the style in which we will name files in this class. So here is how I want you to name the files in this class whenever you are working on something for the news website or yearbook. So it should be first name and last name, and then an underscore, which if you don't know how to do an underscore, it's the shift key and the dash key on your keyboard. A short description of the file, and then another underscore and the date. So my example would be Corinne Miller underscore file management underscore and then 10/5/20. So that means that I made the file, and then it's about file management, and I made it on October 5th, 2020. This naming structure should be used for any type of file, whether it's a Google Doc, Google Slide, Google Drawings, photos, videos, etc. Next, we have file organization. This is how we arrange our files. We might make multiple folders in order to keep information organized. Here are some of my general tips. I would make a folder per class, so one for math, science, and all the other classes. Then within those class folders, I would make a folder for each unit or topic, depending on how many files you have for that class. In our classes, in our shared folders, we want to prioritize organizing by the content of the file over who created it. So for example, if we had a story where several students wrote it and took pictures or videos, we would want to organize all those files together in one folder instead of organizing them by each person. I'm going to show you how I organize my Google Drive so that you can see how to keep your files organized. Keep in mind, I have a lot of files and a lot of class material, so I go a little bit crazier on my folders and organizing than I expect you to. As you can see, I have a lot of different folders down here, but they all have files that need to be organized into those folders so that I can keep track of them. All of the files that I use in my classes during the school year go into a school year file. So you can see for this school year, everything that I use for our classes goes into this folder. Once I'm in this folder, there's even more folders. But I organize them so that my journalism and yearbook classes materials are all in one place and my marketing classes are all in one place. If we go into here, I have a folder for each of my classes. for journalism in yearbook. So journalism 6, journalism 7, and yearbook 8 is all the way down here. And then you can see I have a ton of MiniMod files. This is so that I can keep the files for each MiniMod organized together. So if we go into the file management MiniMod, these are the documents that I use in my MiniMod. So I have my script that I use for these instructional videos, and I also have the assignments and practice activities in this folder so that I know that all of it is in one place together when I go to put it on Canvas or go to share it with you or something like that. Like I said, I go a little bit overboard with my organizing, but that's what keeps me sane. So you don't have to do this much organizing, but it'll help you if you take some of the basics of what I do, I think. And those are the basics of file management. Remember, I want you to practice these file management organizing techniques so that when we are working on putting things together on the news website or the yearbook, you'll have an easier time finding your work. And that's all I have for this video, so I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching!